Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Coffee Milk Hour. It's Friday Freestyle or Freestyle Friday. It doesn't matter how you say it because it's Friday, which means we do whatever we want. I got my voice back. I'm really excited about that. I'm Puffy.
I'm Jerry.
And we're here to do a show, but I have no idea what we're talking about.
You just spoke so much, and it makes me feel very upset that you got your voice back.
I'm super high energy today. I don't know why. I was feeling sick earlier, but now I'm feeling
we
much
need
better.
Coffee.
Yes.
We need coffee right now.
Dude, okay, look, this show is called the Coffee Milk Hour. For those of you who don't know, coffee milk is this little thing to Rhode Island. Autocrat is the company that makes the coffee syrup.
That's the big one. Eclipse makes one too, but it's nothing.
It's Autocrat. You want the good stuff, you go to Autocrat. So I ordered a case of Autocrat coffee syrup maybe like 3 weeks ago now. They ship anywhere in the U.S. if any of you guys out there are interested in trying out coffee milk. It's still not here. But then I went home for a week and I was going to buy some Autocrat and I was like, nah, the shipment will get here when I get back. And I'm back and it's still not here and I'm sad now.
It takes time for them to make the coffee milk syrup with the love and affection that makes it what it is. You should be more patient.
Patience is a virtue that I do not possess.
Well, maybe you should learn to have it.
Well, okay. I don't want to. So,
do you know today is National Donut Day and there are free donuts at Dunkin' Donuts?
I may or may not.
I had a chocolate glazed.
I had a vanilla frosted, but yes. There's other Dunkin' Donuts that I have not been to today.
There's millions.
I have an idea.
We should just get a
box, right?
A box, yeah, and just go from place to place to place, getting 2 free donuts everywhere. It only takes 6 Dunkins to fill up that box. Then we can bring that box to a homeless person and give them the donuts, and then go to another 6 Dunkin' and keep those for ourselves. Because I think you need to purchase a coffee to get the free donut.
You do, yeah. It's with the purchase of each beverage.
But I love coffee. I'll drink it.
Do you remember Free Coffee Day? I don't know if that's a thing they still do.
No, it's still a thing.
Okay,
yeah, they
well,
do that.
Years and years ago, I was walking down the street back when I lived in Rhode Island, and 2 good buddies of mine drove up in their car. It was Mitch Dell and Chris Mello, and they were like, hey, man, you want a coffee? And I was like, I'm walking to Dunkin' right now, and they were like, don't worry, we got you. And they opened up the trunk of the car, and the whole trunk was filled with, like, ice boxes with, like, a shit ton of different individual iced coffees organized by flavors. And I was like, guys, what the fuck? And they were like, it's Free Coffee Day. So we just drove around everywhere.
There's, like, Dunkin' Donuts across the street from Dunkin' Donuts, and with that new Dunkin' Donuts on Metacom, there are now, like, 2 Dunkin' Donuts across from a Dunkin' Donuts at 2 different locations on Metacom Avenue now.
Yes, and then down the block from one of those locations on the corner is yet another Dunkin' Donuts.
Right, you can't go wrong. That's 5 free coffees and donuts in today's case in like a 2-mile stretch.
That's not bad.
It's beautiful.
Right, isn't it?
It is.
But today I wanted to, we're going to talk about a few things, but first thing off the top of my head is something that your brother Mike brought up, which I wanted to bring up a few days ago.
Hi, Mike.
Actually. Hey, Mike, how's it going, buddy? Still waiting on that intro song, but, no big deal.
Waiting on a great theme song to, start off our show because we're boring.
So, guess what happened in Coventry, Rhode Island recently?
I know. So I'm not going to guess because I already know.
Can you guess anyway? You're kind of ruining the bit.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's too late now. Fuck it. Fuck it. We're doing it live.
Don't ever quote him again on this show ever. I'll murder you in your chair.
Bill O'Reilly is a saint.
Oh my God, you said that.
So recently, the American flags on the firefighting trucks in Coventry, Rhode Island have had to have been taken down after there were several complaints. The one that stuck out to me the most was that it's essentially the same thing as the guys in Syria who support ISIS flying their flags around on their trucks. And I thought about this a lot, and I prepared about a million different arguments to present this case, but really it just boils down to what the fuck is wrong with people in this country?
Okay, so number one, first, I just need to fact check you. I just need to fact check you a little bit because they didn't actually take the flags down. They didn't take them down. They changed their policy, but they're saying that they're getting more complaints from other private citizens, but they didn't actually have to take them down. So they still have the decal on the truck and they still have the flags on the truck, but there are still people complaining, and what you said about the whole ISIS thing, that's true. That's true. How is that fucking true? I'm sorry. We live in America. We're a country, I think. I'm pretty sure we're a country.
We're supposed to be.
So we have a flag.
Right.
Right. And the fire department is a government-funded service that we all pay tax dollars for. So it literally is a service of the United States government. Quite literally. Quite literally. If there should be an American flag anywhere at all, it should be on fire trucks,
police cars,
maybe police cars,
ambulances,
maybe ambulances. Yeah, everything you said like 5 seconds before me. That's where the American flag should be. How the fuck is putting an American flag on the back of a truck like ISIS putting ISIS flags on their vehicles, other than the fact that we're putting a flag on a vehicle? And wait a minute, I'm pretty sure we were doing it first. Number one. And this guy, there's one guy, whatever, he's one individual. He said he maybe could have worded it better, and you could have.
Yeah, by not wording it at all, you fucking prick.
But the fact that they're still receiving any complaints at all to take flags off the back of fire trucks is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm a liberal, and that's ridiculous. Like, what are we fighting for? Like, why? Why? Concern yourself with other shit in your life. Like, go mow your lawn. Or, like, maybe fucking fertilize it. Anywhere where, like, you're involved in an activity where you're not talking to anybody else in America. Just go do that. Because this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I'm sorry, I ranted.
I gotta be honest, I was not expecting, like, such a passionate argument from you on this. I thought I was gonna be the one going off, and then you grabbed the microphone, and you were like, alright, it's fucking on. So I'm a little impressed, and also slightly aroused, but that's besides the point. Here's the issue for me, is that this is just another one of those things where somebody, like, this guy's making this complaint because he wants to cause drama and, like, focus attention on himself. It's the same reason that there are millennials out there that are burning the American flag and, like, doing it at rallies and stuff. They have no idea what they're actually doing. They just know that it's going to stoke a response and get them airtime, and they're going to get their 15 minutes of fame. And you know what? They're all fucking idiots. All of them. I'm fucking sick of it. Yo, you disagree. Okay, I understand there's nothing unconstitutional about burning the American flag. There's nothing against the law about burning the American flag. My point is, what ultimate goal are you obtaining by burning the American flag?
Okay, so there are drastic differences between the two situations, right? So yes, the flag represents all the great things about this country,
all the guys who've died for it.
Yeah, all the guys who've died for it, but also all the millions of people who, like, don't give a shit about it and just go about there every day and, like, they don't vote. Like, it represents them too. So, like, when you are protesting America and you feel like certain policies, let's think, maybe like the Patriot Act, for instance, you know, stuff that violates the Constitution. If you feel strongly enough that your rights are being taken away and that America is not being America anymore, then you might burn the flag, and that's okay, because it was actually upheld by a judge that is something you can constitutionally do, and it is protected under your free speech under the First Amendment. However, saying that you can't fly the flag on the back of a fire truck because it's like what the terrorists do is ludicrous. It's ludicrous. It's our country. We're flying it in our country. We're not putting this on a fire truck in Iraq. That might be different. That might be a different situation. And maybe you have the best interest of those firefighters, you know, in your mind, because maybe you don't want them to be a target. But guess what? This isn't Coventry, Rhode Island, which is part of America. Fly the flag. It shouldn't even be an issue. The fact that they changed their policy, because what they did now is say that if you want to put the flag on the back of a truck, you want to put a decal on the truck, you need to ask for approval, and it will be approved. But the fact that even happened, and now there needs to be an approval process, it's stupid. Like, I can't come up with better words because it's retarded. It's just retarded. Like, I don't understand why we pander to these one or two individuals that get offended and we're like, oh yeah, we got to change the whole thing now. And it's like, no, that's one guy. If this were a vote, he would lose and we wouldn't have to change anything.
Dude, we've been pandering to the Confederate flag guys for like 20,
fuck 50, the Confederate flag. And like that's a totally different conversation, and I don't think we've been pandering to them.
Yeah, I think we have.
Okay.
I think anytime we make a big deal about the Confederate flag and people are like, oh, it needs to come down, you're like, well, we don't want it to, which is like maybe 3 or 4 states in the South, and then all of a sudden it's a fucking uproar. Here's what bugs me. We may have discussed this at another point in time, and if we have, stop me, but because I don't want to repeat myself, but did you know that, like, why do people in the North have the Confederate flag on their houses? Like, you're in the fucking North.
Yeah, but they might have come from the south.
Oh, please.
Just logically
how
saying
many
that's why they have it.
All right, there's 30 houses in the north that have the Confederate flag. Every single one of those people came north.
Probably.
Oh, shut up.
I mean, those are the only people that would fly the Confederate flag in the north.
Because there's one right on Medicom going from Bristol to Warren, and you know what? I guarantee you that person in that house has never been to the South. I'm sick of people doing shit to get a rise out of the rest of the fucking country. You have like all these big ass media stories, and like, why? Why are we having all these big ass media stories over nothing?
Wait, you just think that some northern dude was like, let me piss everybody off and fly the Confederate flag outside my house?
Yes, I think people do that all of the time. We live in an age of technology where a story travels around the globe in less than 24 hours. You're telling me people don't do that shit? Like, I can get famous. How can I get famous? Let me go streak in the middle of Foxborough. Let me go fucking set fire to an American flag, because I guarantee you someone's going to record it on their phone, and then every news station everywhere is going to report on it, because there's not like there's a million other fucking stories happening out there. Fuck!
Yeah, but they're not as entertaining.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what NPR is for. If you want real news, just go listen to NPR, and that's where all the boring stuff is.
NPR.
Yeah, National Public Radio.
Or you could listen to, like, BBC World News.
Or BBC World News.
The World News.
Sure.
But, like, I don't feel like every time... I mean, how many news stations does America have? We have CNN, MSNBC, Fox, fucking all of them reporting the same fucking stories every fucking day, because why? What are they doing? Like, something like 50-something soldiers were involved in a bus rolling over accident, and a couple of them were injured in Iraq or Afghanistan yesterday, and you have to dig to find this story, because we're still talking about the fucking gorilla. Yesterday, CNN was putting up, like, an electric projection of, like, the interior.
Oh, that was so
of
cool.
The fucking, we know what it looks like.
I didn't.
Google Cincinnati Zoo ape cage.
You know,
we don't need you to fucking go over the same information. What pissed me off the most? Here's what pissed me off the most. At the end of the guy's explanation, he was like, "And they will decide if someone will be charged with something." And I'm like, you just in so many words admitted that you have no idea why you're still fucking talking about this.
Okay, this is my issue with you. When there's a 24-hour news cycle and there's a station or multiple stations that are covering news 24 hours a day.
They're all covering the same thing, though. You can't tell me.
But that's because they're doing it for ratings, and you just inherently understand that, so you don't get mad at it.
No,
you
do get mad at it.
Why?
You're treating me like I'm an idiot, like I'm not aware that there are other things happening in the world.
But those other things aren't as important and aren't going to capture the ratings because people don't care about those things.
People don't care about those things because they've been trained not to care about those things because of the fucking... Oh
God, we're all trained monkeys.
Yes, we do.
Watch out, people.
Are.
CNN is turning you into a bunch of robots.
Open your eyes. We all need to listen to Rush Limbaugh and his infinite wisdom. Ow.
I don't know how that happened.
I don't know, man. I'm sick of it. Every time I come home or every time I turn on the news, if it's within a 3-week span of something, a 6-week span of something happening, you know, it's still going to be that same story. We're talking about, like, CNN is the world news, right? They claim to...
They're your world news headquarters, actually.
Yes, they are. They are the world news headquarters. And what do they report on? The same goddamn thing over the course of 6 weeks. You're telling me that there isn't enough happening in the world to cover a 24-hour period of news with new stories? There absolutely is. You're just looking for what gets the most ratings because you want the biggest profit. You're not reporting the news.
Yeah, but
you're reporting the stories.
Yeah, but 24-hour news cycles work like a radio station in a car. They don't expect you to sit there and watch show after show after show like I do. They expect you to, like, tune in at 5, listen till 6, and then you're done, and you've gotten your world news for the day. And then people like me are like, I love CNN. Let me listen from 12 till 6. And then you, living with me, are like, they're talking about the same shit. And they are, because most people don't listen to the news for 6 hours a day.
We have that same argument 5 fucking days later. What was it, the Malaysia airline? Where, like, after 3.5 weeks...
They still haven't found it. It's a very important story.
After 3.5 weeks of the Malaysia airline, there was one guy who was literally like, could it have been sucked into a black hole? And, like, at that point, you're not even fucking trying to make it seem like it's news at this point. You're just literally saying whatever comes to your mind.
Actually, ancient astronaut theorists
Don't you fucking dare.
believe
No.
that aliens came here and opened up a black hole and MH370 fell into it. And I think that's a viable theory that we need to entertain.
What did you just call them?
Ancient astronaut theorists.
Ancient astronaut theorists.
Yes.
So basically a bunch of fat unemployed guys making money to theorize all day.
Well, they're making more money than you, so why don't you shut the fuck up?
That's fair, but I could easily go get that job. Let me grow out my hair a
No,
little
you
bit and then
couldn't.
cut it in a really creepy
nothing
pattern.
about ancient astrology.
Neither do they. That's the best part. I will grow my hair out another 12 inches. I will cut it in a pattern that makes me look somewhat like a pedophile. I'll grow my beard out super, super long and then cut it in only certain places to replicate the hair look. I'll get on the TV and I'll be like, so the sun's kind of hot. I wonder if aliens had something to do with that. And they'd be like, oh my God, we need to hire this kid on the spot right now. Six-figure salary right now. Because that's what they do. Literally, there was an article that came out a few days ago that I tagged you in that said King Tut's dagger was made from iron that was found in a meteorite. And what did they all do? What if the aliens gave it to them? What if they found a fucking rock on the ground and made a dagger out of it?
I triple dog dare you to do everything you just said.
But the cutting of the hair
I triple dog dare you.
No, I'm not going to look like a pedophile. That's creepy.
On this day, Jordan Burns backed down from a triple dog dare.
Yes, I did. Easily. Besides, you used to have this weird, like, molestache thing going on, and you looked creepy enough for the both of us, all right? So
I still have the license picture.
that's horrifying. Those are around the same time that you slapped a woman.
What the fuck? I didn't slap anybody. Jesus Christ.
It's gonna be a good day. So what else are we gonna talk about, Mister? I listen to the news 24/7. What else is?
I don't know.
important
Do we have
that's
to talk about news?
happening? We don't have to talk about news.
There are no video games out right now. There are none.
Oh, dude, No Man's Sky just got delayed again.
Again?
Again. It's now
For those of
delayed
you
to
who don't know,
mid-August.
because this might interest non-gamers, they're coming out with a game called No Man's Sky. And the cool thing about No Man's Sky is that it's essentially infinite. So basically this game creates the universe. So if you were to start on Earth, there are algorithms built into this game that will just infinitely create different planets with different creatures, with different atmospheres and environments, and you can literally visit all of them. And I forgot what the stat was.
No, you
can't.
can't. That's the thing.
It was like if everybody on Earth played this game, and we wanted to visit every planet in the game, it'd take like some billion of years in order to do it.
55 billion
and it's
years
like
or something.
insane. So just to give you an idea of the computing power that's going into some of these games, it's pretty badass.
Yeah, for those in the past who have bitched about like video games don't change and don't evolve, you're talking about something that procedurally generates over time. Like in our lifetime as humanity, the server for this game will shut down before the game itself is fully explored. I don't know how you make a plot out of that game, but it's still cool enough that I want to do that.
Well, the exploration and survival games are getting pretty trendy.
Yeah,
I
but
guess.
they're also failing at the same time. Let's talk about video games for a little while because we don't really get an opportunity to do that. So if this isn't your cup of tea, hey, thanks for listening up to this point. And if
keep listening.
If you're curious, I was just gonna say that let's drop some knowledge on you because this is some technological talk here.
Maybe not knowledge, maybe just preference and ideas, but just listen.
I'm sorry, did I say knowledge?
Yeah.
Good, that's what I fucking meant.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, we're trying to seem intelligent here. Warcraft comes out August 30th. How do you feel about the beta so far?
The movie comes out before that, though.
The movie comes out in 3 days.
And I'm getting more and more discouraged about the movie. The more previews I see, I'm like, man, this is going to fucking blow.
You have to look at... Alright, so if you look at the reviews online, because this movie has released overseas, you're going to see 2 very, very strong opinions on opposite sides of the fence. All of the critics are like, no, this is terrible. And all of the fans of any Warcraft-based anything ever are like, this is fucking amazing. Apparently, they take the time and go into the depth of the lore to give you an understanding of what you're experiencing and why you're experiencing it. So, I usually like movies that critics don't like anyway. I'm still pretty stoked off of this movie.
The issue for me, and just what I've seen in the previews, and you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, but I understand that Warcraft is a video game and it looks cartoony, but I don't feel like you needed to bring that aspect to the movie.
What looks cartoony?
Everything.
What?
The lighting looks weird.
What?
Everything looks weird. They went through all this effort to make sure that they didn't use any CGI on the orcs, and they look badass. It's all makeup, and it just looks awesome. But then, the environments and, some of the armor and stuff looks a little childish, and it's you could have taken this more seriously. And I feel like what I was hoping for was kind of a Lord of the Rings type deal.
Oh, here we go.
I'm sorry, but Lord of the
Put
Rings...
on your hats, people.
Lord of the Rings came out, and it took it seriously enough where it presented itself to an audience larger than just people that read the books.
Lord of the Rings is overrated.
What?
Yeah, it had to be said. Right?
I'm going to ignore.
You've been talking about this for like 16 years.
11
it's got to
Oscars.
Stop, man.
11 Oscars.
I don't
anyway,
care about the 11
but,
Oscars.
So I was hoping that what this movie did, I was hoping that it would open the door to people who are also not fans of Warcraft in a video game sense, and they could be like, holy shit, what a plot. Holy shit, what a movie. Like, because plot and character development is the most important thing to any movie. So it bothers me if critics are not acclaiming this movie, because that means that the plot probably isn't great and that the character development's probably not great, and even if the makeup and stuff is good, you can't like give a movie an 8 out of 10 because of good makeup.
No, see, I heard the exact opposite. I heard it because they were, it was more or less the critics were like, there's too much information. This movie is like, think of it like a pilot episode of a TV show that's usually like an hour long per episode. That first hour of that TV show you watch is going to be very slow. It's going to be introducing characters and like establishing a plot, maybe a subplot or two, but like, it's not going to be like crazy action packed like from start to end. If they're gonna take this down like a line of movies, you need to start somewhere. Was Fellowship of the Ring action packed? No,
not until the Mines of Moria.
Yeah, which was like fucking 3 hours into the movie.
I agree, but this isn't set up. It's not saying this is part one of a trilogy. I understand it's the first movie coming out, but I feel like Never mind that argument. Say what you want to say.
Damn right I'm going to say what I want to say. Lord of the Rings is a terrible movie, and I think you need to accept that.
I'm excited for the beta, or for the expansion. The beta's okay so far.
Guys, we're really excited. For those of you who listen who play World of Warcraft, I stated this 8 days into Legion's beta as I've been testing it, and I only feel more solidified in saying it. It feels like Wrath of the Lich King to me. It really does. I mean, it's so well improved. Dude, they added the music themes to the zones today, and it is beautiful. I mean, we're talking like in terms of like soundtracks for games, the scores for these pieces of the game are amazing. People are losing their shit over it right now in the forums. They're so pumped.
Yeah, but I'm more concerned with, as I have been with all of the expansions, I know that in the questing I've done so far, which is only like half a level, yeah, the lore is there. I need to see lore in all the zones. And more importantly, I need to see that lore play out in the end game in a smooth way that makes sense. And I feel like Lich King was really the best expansion at it, because you're questing through the zones, you see the story of Arthas, and you can include up in ICC, and you see the whole storyline play out with a great cinematic at the end. And I just don't feel like we've had that in the last, two expansions? Has it only been two? No, three.
No, it's been three.
Three expansions.
Casual was in there.
Yeah. So I'm excited that I have seen a level of lore in the intro quest that we haven't seen before. I'm excited about the artifact weapons, which kind of feels like the old talent system just a little bit, and I'm excited for some of the other big changes, but I was excited for Warlords too, just as excited, and that game got boring in like 1 minute.
Yeah, they also went alternate reality with it though, and that kind of fucks up the whole thing.
I don't care about that. Like, I was on board with the alternate reality thing and the time travel until all the plot started to suck, all of it. Like, and then it's like, oh hey, here's the last raid. Have fun for the next year. No content at all. No.
That was rough.
No mini raids. No extra quest zones. No nothing. Like,
I think we need to take this beyond the scope of the game and start looking at the producers, because you had Blizzard, who for a very long time they were trying, even though they were having to pander to like more casual players than hardcore players. They still tried. Then they signed on with Activision. And I don't care what anybody says, there is enough influence there that it went very quickly from, we want to provide something for gamers that they appreciate, to what can we put out to milk the cash cow the fastest and then sit on it for as long as possible before we have to put out more. You know what I mean? Like, how quickly can we spend as little money as possible to make as much money as possible and then sit on that forever? And that irritates me a lot. I feel, now this is probably going to be a really dumb argument, because whatever, it's video games, right? No big deal. But it's any argument in any form of consumerism. I am paying for a product. If I'm putting money in to a product, I expect that product to meet certain expectations. So why, and I know it's my own choice, but why am I continuing to pay into that product when the quality of that product has just gone down over time? Granted, it's my own choice, but it's all I got. I don't have friends, so...
you have other games, I guess.
There are so many games, and then you get wrapped into so many different worlds in reality. I think video games are taking the place of books, and that makes me sad.
I don't think they're taking the place of books. I just feel like people don't read as much, and that's not anyone's fault.
Well, I mean, it's people's fault.
I enjoy books, and I enjoy video games, so I read books, and I watch, or I play video games, and I watch movies, and you can do all of it. It's just you need to put a value on books, and video games should play like books to an extent. I mean, what bothers me a lot about gaming, this has been the case for like a decade now, but like the early video games are like PlayStation 1. In there, you had like 60 and 70 hour storylines.
Yes.
Like you had long storylines, which is enough time to get a plot line like you would have in a book. Like it was, well thought out with character development, more complex plots. And then they were like, we found this formula where it's like an 8-hour campaign with a great multiplayer, and we're just going to throw that out there over and over and over again. And then the storyline is mediocre at best. Then they release a game a year from the same, studio, so you can't, there's only so much time in the day for them to create these games, so they can't do a 60-hour game in a year. But it bothers me that plot has kind of gone away in a lot of games, not all games, but a lot of games, especially like your mainstream, like your Call of Duty, and I think even Halo has suffered, and just the big ones out there. But I don't think that they're replacing books.
I do. I feel like kids growing, it's easier to, like, you can't, if you have a child that you're raising and that kid's like 5 or 6 or 7, you can't put a book in front of him and expect him to be distracted for hours on end.
Why?
As easily as you could put an iPad in front of that kid and expect him to be distracted for hours. It's bad parenting. That's what it comes down to. Like, you should be sitting there and reading with your kids. Books are the foundation of human knowledge, and we need to bring back the importance of literature in society.
By improving education.
No, don't bring this to education.
But
okay?
it's education.
No, it's parenting.
When are we going to have an education episode?
I don't want to have an education episode.
But education's so important.
I agree. Okay, fine. We'll
it's
have an education
the most
episode
important.
on Monday.
On Monday?
Yes.
I don't have enough time to do research.
It's 2 days.
What? It's
current educational system in America. Shit. How do we make it better?
How do we make it better? That takes years of research.
No, it doesn't. It's fucking easy.
I mean, we'll throw some ideas out there. For anyone who hasn't, you should watch Michael Moore's Where to Invade Next. It's a wonderful documentary that gives you an introspective look at other cultures and how they do things better than us because we're not good anymore.
The show does not endorse Michael Moore in any way.
But I do. I, Jerry Nutini, endorse this documentary, which is really non-biased, no political, no partisanship, just showing you what's going on in the world. So check it out. We have 2 minutes left.
We have 2 minutes left. Can we talk about how...
I feel like we lost half our audience or more by talking about video games in this episode, and we're not even live.
You can just feel like the future people like clicking off as
it's just like they're like, oh my god, I don't even know what they're talking about. I'm not going to listen to this anymore.
That's wonderful. But I mean, we don't talk about a lot of, and that's probably an issue. We need guests on the show. So that when we do have certain topics of discussion, we can have others' opinions.
I would love that, but we need to get better equipment and/or actually have to start paying for things outside of microphones.
I'm not paying for anything.
What?
Yeah, I'm not.
I guess you are.
No.
You're absolutely paying for things.
What?
This is the problem with America is everyone feels entitled, like they should be able to do everything they want for free because they're so great. Well, you're going to pay for it, okay?
I'm just gonna pull the millennial card. I expect it all on a silver platter.
You're not a millennial.
Oh, shit.
You're
Technically,
not
I am.
No, you're
not.
not.
My age group falls into the millennial age group.
Dude, you were born like 5 years after me.
1990.
3 years after me.
I'm a millennial.
I'm not a millennial.
No, because you're old and fat and useless.
I'm not as fat as I used to be.
That's true. Well, this has been a fun episode. Not really sure what we talked about here.
We talked about free donuts.
Oh, we did talk about free
We
donuts.
talked about free coffee day in our experience. We talked about flags.
I guess we covered a lot of ground here.
And then we talked about Warcraft for like 10 minutes and/or video games.
Oh,
so
by the way,
what?
I may or may not have ordered like 400 Donald Trump stickers to put around the house.
I swear to God, if you ordered any Donald Trump stickers, I will bring you out to the parking lot and I will hang you publicly with those stickers around you, just so I can show people around here what happens when you support Donald Trump.
Wow, so you're really feeding into that whole, it's the liberals who are causing all the problems at Trump rallies.
What?
See?
No, it's not. Thing. It's not the liberals.
You're gonna hang me for my Trump stickers. I'm just trying to support my candidate. You know what? You're being very rude. The wall just got 10 feet higher.
The wall didn't get any higher. It didn't get any higher at all because no one's going to pay for it because Congress isn't going to approve it and the Mexicans aren't going to pay for it and there's not going to be a wall.
Well, there's not going to be a President Trump, so I don't know why we're having the
There's
conversation.
not going to be a President Trump. There's going to be like a... You know, we should just get rid of him after this.
Can we call Ralph Nader? Is he still around?
What? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's around.
Let's call him up. Let's call him up. Let's see if he'll
what
make
he's
a
doing.
run.
What if he's playing golf?
Stop fucking golfing and run the country. I just need somebody besides the two candidates that are currently in play.
Yeah, Gary Johnson, the Libertarian candidate.
I actually looked into Gary Johnson. I'm pretty stoked off him right now. If he makes a third-party run, I'd vote for him.
So there you go. He is making a third-party run. That's a fact.
Oh, he actually already announced?
Yeah, like weeks ago, dude.
These things, Jerry. I was just going to write in myself or Snuffleupagus.
You're not old enough to be president.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You have to be 35 or older.
Fuck you! That's the problem. We got all these old motherfuckers running the country. We need young minds in there, just not, like alcoholics or stoners.
No, because young minds do stupid things.
I would be a pretty good president.
No, you'd prioritize all the wrong things.
I would not. Rule 1. Pants are no longer mandatory. They are totally optional. Boom. Tuesdays are now officially Taco Tuesdays, and everybody gets the day off from work, period. 40-hour work weeks? Fuck that. 20-hour work weeks.
Case in point. There we are. So that is our Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope you have a great weekend, and we will see you on Monday with some type of topic.
We'll probably talk about how Harambe got to heaven and was mauled by Cecil the lion.
Oh, my God.
So sorry.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.